Today we're reminiscing on the greatest decade of sports, the 2010s. This is going to be a movie because we're covering every sports moment that I can remember. I'm basically taking my ball knowledge to trial here. So without further ado, let's get started with 2010. After losing in 08 and winning in 09, the Black Mamba takes on the Celtics yet again. This series goes to 7 games. The Celtics send the double. Kobe passes the ball. Bang! Bro, Kobe was not trying to pass this ball. Look at his reaction after he passed it. He was trying to get that hoe back. He was trying to take this shot. But Kobe wins his 5th ring, 1 away from MJ. Lakers establishing themselves as a dynasty. This is where we get the famous press conference from Ron Artest.
And he passed me the ball. Kobe passed me the ball.
Meanwhile, years after Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans, Sean Payton and Drew Brees bring the Saints their first ever Super Bowl. Whether they did that in the most ethical way possible is up for you to decide, but bounty setting works. It brings them a chip. Drew Brees outmeets Peyton Manning. Shabalala!
Goal! Bafana! Bafana!
Wesley Sneijder and Arjen Robben were absolute demons in this tournament, carrying the Netherlands to the finals, but they came up against this Avengers super team, Spain. Alright, we got Casillas, Iniesta, David Villa, Xavi, Puyol, Pedro, Busquets, Ramos, Piqué, Xavi Alonso. And Spain win the World Cup off of this Iniesta goal in extra time. Alright, despite Suarez cheating his titties off against Ghana. And if you were wondering where everyone's favorite team was, the Three Lions, the Queen, they lost because of this. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, they got cheated. I'm not gonna lie, that ref needs to die. Shakira was on one this year, I can't even lie. Like, this song will really bring a man to tears. This is the greatest World Cup of all time. But then we turn our focus to the greatest aura farmer of all time. The special one. His Inter Milan pull off one of the greatest feats in UEFA Champions League history, alright? Beats Barcelona at the Nou Camp down to 10 men by parking the bus. No, not even parking the bus, parking the plane. Defeats Pep, defeats Messi's Barcelona. These guys are celebrating aura farming so hard that they had to throw the sprinklers on just to get him off the pitch, alright? They end up winning the Champions League, winning the treble that year. Jose Mourinho solidifies himself as one of the greatest managers of all time. And just 9 days after he won the treble, he gets promoted to become the gaffer at Real Madrid, which truly fueled the greatest rivalry of this decade, Ronaldo versus Messi. After Sergio Ramos tried to murder Lionel Messi down 5 goals with 1 minute left in the match, which led to an all-timer in the history between Barcelona and Real Madrid. But Barcelona had one of the greatest teams of all time, managed by this freak right here, Pep Guardiola, introducing his tiki-taka ball. He had to get Jose back for what he did at the Nou Camp. But while Pep and Guardiola were going at it, my 2 favorite players on the ice, Johnny Taves, the shootout demon, and Patty Kane, were leading the Blackhawks to their first chip since 1961 off of this fluky ass goal, which leads to the Winter Olympics in Vancouver. And there's really only one game that I need to talk about. Gold medal game, men's hockey, Canada versus USA. Not a lot of hockey games better than this one, alright? North of the border versus south of the border. And it looked like it was Canada's gold, as with a minute left in the game, the US were down by 1. They pull their goalie, bring out the extra attacker. My little ass was screaming, thinking we had the gold, but then Zach Parise, the devil. I can't lie, my little ass was cussing out Luongo with every English word I knew at the time, but then we get into overtime. And with all of North America with their eyes glued to the screen, Sid the Kid comes through.
Again, let's scrap it! Sidney Crosby, the golden goal!
Canada was turned, Vancouver was buzzing, but they weren't gonna be happy for too long. Riots happening in Vancouver because my goddamn Canucks lost in 7 against the Bruins. I'm convinced the Bruins have a deal with the devil, alright? The Canucks have been ass ever since this day. And speaking of ass, let's take a look at the teams that Dan Gilbert surrounded LeBron James with. Wow. After losing year after year on the Cleveland Cavaliers, despite winning multiple MVPs, LeBron James decides to leave Cleveland.
In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
So my GOAT joins the Heat with D. Wade and Chris Bosh, and he starts capping his ass off.
About that.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. Hey.
Yeah, they won 2. Before the NBA season could start, there was a lockout, which led to some of the greatest rec league hoops of all time, alright? Imagine LeBron James in his just showing up to gyms, dunking everything. Oh my god, his head is at the rim. We saw Kobe Bryant showing up to local community centers, playing up against James Harden and DeMar DeRozan in the Drew League. Whole neighborhood is out and about, chanting Kobe Bryant's name one-on-one with James Harden, Kobe, Fader, Mag. This was all dope. My favorite moment from the NBA lockout was when Kevin Durant showed up to Rocker Park. 1 tray ball. Next possession. Coming up the court. Nobody can stop him. Pull up. 2 tray balls. Coming down again. Crowd getting into it. Everybody's guarding him. Another pull-up. Third trade ball. Look at him rubbing his head. Oh, this is when he had hair. Derrick Rose, the greatest point guard season I have ever seen with my own eyes, wins MVP right here. But he wasn't enough for LeBron as the Heat advance to the finals to face up against the Mavs. And the Heat lose in 6 games against the Mavs. LeBron drops 8 points in game 4, 2 points in the 4th quarter. But before taking perks, Aaron Rodgers was Brett Favre's water boy, alright? He was his son. But after Brett Favre leaves in just his 2nd season, Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl, alright? Wins Super Bowl MVP, his only Super Bowl. Then he starts taking drugs. But then we get back to this tactical freak. Barcelona's looking to get it back in blood after Jose. Nah, I'm playing. After Jose Mourinho defeated them last year at the Nou Camp, and they make the UEFA Champions League final, alright? Against Sir Alex, one of the greatest English managers of all time. Messi scores this absolute banger, the game winner. Look at Pep. Absolutely dick them down 3-1. They win their 2nd Champions League in 3 years, defeating United both times, while Ronaldo is banned from the United States. But then 2012 comes around, and when I think of 2012, I think of the London Olympics. I remember making peas during this time, but this Olympic was absolutely gold. Starting out with Usain Bolt, after his dominance in Beijing, he pulls off a La GM type move, assembling the greatest sprint team the world has ever seen. Starting out with Nesta Carter, 9.78 100 meter, followed up by Michael Frater, 9.88 100 meter. Johan Blake, 9.69, the 2nd fastest man in the world. Behind this man. The fastest man alive, Usain Bolt, was in the building. What are these emotes he's hitting? These guys absolutely shatter the world record, dust the competition. Usain Bolt wins 3 golds at the 2012 London Olympics. Now we have Noah Lyles. Anyways, while we have Usain running, Michael was swimming. This dude is a literal fish. Look at the separation he has generated. What the hell? He wins his 19th gold medal and retires after these Olympics, alright? The GOAT swimmer. And then we have USA Basketball, which is one of the most unfair teams of all time. Tyson Chandler, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Deron Williams, Andre Iguodala, Kobe Bryant,
43, 44, 38.
These guys had a plus 191 point differential in just 5 games, alright? They were beating teams by an average of 40, literally. He spanked Spain in the gold medal game, but this was not the greatest basketball story in 2012.
At guard, it's number 17,
My GOAT comes in and wipes his Asian balls across the NBA. The most insane run we'll ever see. People still use the term Linsanity run to describe players that have a sudden stretch of greatness. The 2 moments that I wanted to highlight that I remembered as a kid that inspired me to pick up the basketball started in Toronto when Jeremy Lin had 4 seconds left on the clock. ISO, 4 flat, game time! We'll see y'all later, Raptors! Then they were scheduled to play the Lakers, and when Kobe Bryant was asked about Jeremy Lin, here's what he had to say.
Are you surprised at the production that Lin's had over the past week?
I don't even know what he's done. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
But Jeremy Lin heard the noise. 38!
Lin for 3. Bang!
Pussy! With Carmelo sidelined, Jeremy Lin takes down the Lakers by himself and extended his NBA career by another 8 years, alright? But then we move on to LeBron. He's still on his road to his first championship, and when the Miami Heat down 3-2 in the Boston TD Garden, LeBron plays what I believe is the 2nd greatest game I've seen him ever play with my own eyes. 45, 15, and 5. The Heat end up winning this series, going to the finals yet again, where they faced a young Oklahoma City Thunder. Led by a young Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, with James Harden coming off the bench, the OKC Thunder took down the Spurs in 6 to advance to the NBA Finals, where we got our first ever LeBron versus Kevin Durant finals matchup. And LeBron finally comes through, wins his first championship. The Heat win in 5. Wins Finals MVP, his first ever championship. LeBron starts taking over the NBA.
It's about damn time.
Then we move to the NFL, where Tom Brady starts taking over. He starts teeing up, alright? It's been 10 years since he won a Super Bowl at this moment in time. But he finally returns to the big stage, to the big game in 2012, where he has to face off against his father, who beat him in their first matchup in the Super Bowl back in 2008 after the flukiest catch I've ever seen in my life. But this time, Tom Brady prevails, all right? Moving in the pocket, throwing this deep ball to the end zone. Just kidding! Eli Manning! But also in 2012, we had one of the closest Premier League races of all time. Man United and Man City, the two Manchester clubs, were competing for the trophy and are just 2 points apart after Man United defeated Sunderland 1-0. Sir Alex, the greatest English gaffer, is hyped as he believes that Manchester United have done it. You can literally see the United gaffer celebrating right there. The fans are all stressed. 2 minutes left. Man City QPR. Man City literally needs to win. They get 3 points if they win. Look at this lad here, he can't believe it. Look at Wayne Rooney, he just found out about the news. Man City steal the title from Man United on the last play of the game, and they win their first Premier League. Alright, 2012 was a good year for sports. Now it's 2013. At least the Heat are playing well, I guess. LeBron's winning, but man. Anyways, they go on this wild win streak, 66 wins, first in the East. They add Ray Allen to their squad. They're winning the championship last year, but they come up against the revamped San Antonio Spurs team with an improved Kawhi Leonard. Their starting five was nuts, and they got Manu Ginobili coming off the bench. They face off against the Heat in the finals, and the Spurs were the first team to ever beat LeBron in a final, so he had revenge on his mind. Y'all know what happens. LeBron hits this three. Kawhi misses a free throw. Bosh with the rebound. No Tim Duncan on the court. Do not know what Greg Popovich was doing there. Kick out, back to Ray Allen. Finds the three-point line without even looking. Ties the game with the clutchest shot in NBA history. Look at Ginobili's bald spot. LeBron takes care of the rest, all right? Back-to-back MVPs, back-to-back finals MVPs, back-to-back champs for the Miami Heat. They make history right there. But another team that was making history, the Toronto Maple Leafs, who have not won a cup since 1967. When there were no McDonald's in Canada. But they had a good shot in 2013, up 4-2, up 2 goals against the Boston Bruins right here. They literally pulled their goalie. Okay, they get one back, but still, they're up 4-3. All you gotta do is defend and move on. 52 seconds, right? Nothing. Okay, it's alright. They tied it, 4-4. You know, you still got overtime. It's not over, man. Don't give up, man. Leafs lose in 7 against the Bruins. We'll end up giving up 2 goals in 17 seconds to choke the Stanley Cup Finals. But then we go back to football, because I feel like in this decade so far, we haven't been treating Sir Alex, the Scouse Gaffer, the way he's supposed to be treated, alright? All we've seen is him getting thrashed by Mr. and losing a last-minute winner to Man City, alright? That's all we've seen. He ends up winning the Premier League. It's his last year. He cements himself as one of the greatest managers to ever manage the game, alright? The greatest Man United gaffer. And they haven't had a good one since. But I wanted to talk more about the Football League Championship. Now, how English football works is you have to finish in the top 3 of the championship to get promoted to the Premier League. And in the Premier League, there's 20 teams. The worst 3 teams get demoted back down to the championship. So this is like the minor league, except you can actually make the major leagues if you play well in the minor leagues. Now, how the championship league works is the top 2 teams, you automatically get to go to the Premier League. The 3rd place team has to play in a little tournament. The 3rd place team plays the 6th place, the 4th plays the 5, and then those 2 winners play each other for the 3rd seed. Although Watford finished 3rd in the championship, they still had to play in this tournament. And so we get to the tournament, it's winner takes all, loser goes home, and this iconic moment happens. Leicester gets a penalty.
Almunia saves, knockout follows in, Almunia saves again.
Game is tied. Winner wins it all.
Absolutely astonishing. Now here come Watford. Forestieri. Here's Hogg. Do not scratch your eyes. You are really seeing the most extraordinary finish here.
Oh, the fans have stormed the pitch. The lads! What a lot of people don't know, though, is Watford, the team that just scored with Troy Deeney. They actually lost in the championship game, because that was the semi-final game of that tournament. But it's 2014, which means it's been 4 years since the last World Cup. Before we get into the rest of 2014, I have a huge favor to ask out of you guys. In late April, it's the NFL draft, and I'm trying to announce a draft pick for the 49ers. They need a new representative now that Dr. Disrespect is out the door, and as you guys know from the this video is my favorite football team since I was a kid. So to help me reach that goal, it'd be great if you guys could hit the subscribe button. Not a lot of you guys watching are currently subscribed right now, so if you guys could subscribe and help me get to that draft stage, that would be absolutely insane, alright? So please hit that subscribe button and let's get into the rest of the video. This time it's being hoisted in Rio de Janeiro here, the Brazuca Ball, and this is officially the ugliest tournament of all time. Griezmann look like he's been around since 1945. Hold on, what is Griezmann doing? He literally looks like this now. What was he doing in 2014? But this tournament produced one of the greatest World Cup goals of all time, alright? James! What a goal! This goal literally got him a Real Madrid contract, alright? I'm pretty sure he signed for Real Madrid right after the tournament. Everybody, including your boy, was trying to recreate this goal in the backyard, alright? On the school field, everybody was trying to, hey, give me a James, you know what I'm saying? This World Cup also produced one of the greatest additions by EA Sports on top of FIFA right here, the World Cup section. This is one of the few World Cups where the semi-final game was actually more popular than the actual final. 7-1 Germany. This was one of the craziest games I ever watched in my life. Matter of fact, I missed half the goals just from simply sitting on the toilet, collecting my elixir. I missed half this match. Germany was just scoring so fast. They scored 4 goals in 7 minutes. By the way, remember the Suarez guy I was talking about earlier who cheated against Ghana in the last World Cup? He wanted to bite someone this time around. England didn't even make it out the group stage, and Germany ended up winning the World Cup off of this amazing goal by Mario Götze. Messi loses his first World Cup final. This is where the international flaw allegations come in, the Pessy allegations come in. Before we get into all that, the Slim Reaper starts taking over the NBA. Averaged 32 on 81 games played, 5 more points than second place Carmelo Anthony. Just absolutely frying the league, and he delivers the greatest MVP speech you'll ever hear.
We wasn't supposed to be here. You made us believe. You kept us off the street, put clothes on our backs, food on the table. When you didn't eat, you made sure we ate. You went to sleep hungry. You sacrificed for us. You're the real MVP.
This was like the biggest meme on Facebook. Y'all can't take anything seriously. But the Spurs were on demon time in this year, alright? They take out the Heat in 5 games. D-Wade wasn't looking like the same guy anymore. He was looking old. LeBron noticed that, and he ends up coming back, coming home, signs back with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavs had a young emerging star in Kyrie Irving, and he works his Legion powers to get Kevin Love, and they form Big 3 there. But the Miami Heat loss, for me personally, this was hella depressing. Because not only did LeBron lose, my football team was also ass. And half the team blew up. And when you're a young kid, your favorite NBA player loses the finals. Half of your football team blows up. And then your least favorite team wins the Super Bowl by 35. You don't want to live. For me, the best sporting event in 2014 was the Champions League final between Real Madrid and Atletico, aka La Decima, because it is Real Madrid's opportunity to win their 10th Champions League. Now, Real Madrid's team was absolutely nasty, alright? Especially the front 3. Bale, Benzema, Cristiano. BBC. One of the best nicknames, one of the best attacking trios we'll ever see. Alright, we'll get into the other one later. The reason this final was so good was because they were coming up against Diego Simeone, who was the manager of Atleti, and the best way I can describe Simeone is Harambo. If his team scores a goal, this guy will play 10 at the back. We're talking about time wasting. We're talking about flopping. He'll do whatever it takes to win the game. And that's exactly what happened in this match, alright? Atleti scored 36 minutes into the game, and Harambo was activated, alright? BBC could not penetrate this Atleti defense for the majority of the game, alright? Partly because they had 10 guys in the box. Atleti fans have started to celebrate. Simeone is hyping them up. All Atleti had to do was defend against one last corner. Sergio Ramos scores. 93rd minute, bro. 93rd. They're like a minute away from winning the Champions League. And they ended up losing 4-1 in extra time. And this was supposed to be the start of a Real Madrid Champions League dynasty. Until 2015. Because in 2015, Barcelona locked it. They assembled the Avengers, alright? The greatest front line we've ever seen in history. Starting out with their striker up top, Luis Suarez, the biter. Despite his cheating antics, he was one of the best strikers in the world at the time. We had the Brazilian wonder kid from Santos, Neymar Jr. Look at the techers. Look at the finish. The man who loves to celebrate his sister's birthday. And then last but not least, we have the GOAT. He's a 4-time Ballon d'Or winner at the time, greatest player in the world, might be autistic. And look at this team, man.
47, 35, 35, 39, 41, 45, 41, 43, 44, 38, 32, 42.
This team won everything, all right? 5 trophies in a calendar year, including the Champions League, the Spanish League, and the Copa del Rey. Absolutely mesmerizing stuff. But you know what else was mesmerizing?
No doubt either. That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen.
That! Rookie Odell Beckham Jr. What a time. This guy probably could catch chlamydia from your mom. This is when Madden Mobile 15, Madden Mobile 16 came out, man. What a time. Just when I thought OBJ's catch couldn't be topped, this catch was even better. Probably the worst coaching decision in all of sports, all time. Refused to run the ball on the 2-yard line with Marshawn Lynch as your back. Absolutely insane. Man, your boy was spamming these memes. Yeah. In the NHL, Connor McDavid was selected, and he quickly becomes the nastiest player in the world. Look at this. Oh my god. But then we get into the fight of the century. Mayweather, Pacquiao. Fans have been wanting this matchup since 2009, since both were in their prime. And after years of getting blue-balled, the fans could finally ejaculate as Floyd versus Pacquiao was here. Floyd is 47-0, perfect record. Pacquiao is 57 wins. 38-year-old Mayweather versus 36-year-old Pacquiao. This was the fight of the century, and it was disappointing. All I remember from this fight is Floyd hugging Manny Pacquiao. That's literally it. Mayweather hugging Pacquiao more in this fight than my father did to me my entire life. Okay, see, there you go. Floyd ends up winning the fight by unanimous decision, but this wasn't the biggest thing that happened in 2015. Because I don't care what zodiac sign you are, this was the year of the light skins. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, they started taking over the NBA. 67-15 under first-year head coach Steve Kerr. Steph wins most valuable player. Draymond Green was second in defensive player of the year with the most first-place votes. And this was the year Klay Thompson hit 37 points in the quarter, all right? This team was on fire. Absolutely changed basketball, but there was a guy out east. LeBron James was decimating the East, taking out the Chicago Bulls in the playoffs, swinging his dragon clock across the Eastern Conference alongside a Kyrie and Kevin Love. It was Big 3 against Big 3. Sort of. Not really. Actually, it wasn't at all. Because Kevin Love was out after Kelly Olynyk just yanked his shoulder, and Kyrie got injured in Game 1 of overtime. So, it was basically him against them. It was like taking a good trip down memory lane, alright? Going back to those early 2009-2010 Dan Gilbert lineups. Let's look at this. Look at Iman Shumpert's hair. Absolutely atrocious. The Warriors end up winning the series in 6. Gave the finals MVP to Iguodala because he held LeBron to 36, 13, and 9. Yeah. But this wasn't the Kings' final form, because in 2016, he has something to say. First, we had the greatest dunk contest of our lives, alright? Zach LaVine, coming off of his championship in the dunk contest last year, comes back to defend his belt, and he's going up against the underdog Aaron Gordon, and this turns into a band for band. Who's got more hops? Who's got more aura? To this day, I still think Aaron Gordon should have won. And it was also Kobe's final game, and he goes out in typical Kobe fashion. 60 balls. Now, the same exact night, the same exact time this game was being played, the Warriors were breaking history, eclipsing the 72-10 Chicago Bulls, alright? They wipe out the entire West, LeBron is still dominating the East, and we have a finals rematch. This time, LeBron has his comrades with him, he has help. He goes down 3-1 in the series, alright? He's literally playing the greatest team of all time. But in Game 4 of this series, Draymond decided to punch him in the nuts. This got him suspended for Game 5, in which LeBron and Kyrie put up a vintage performance, 41 points each, which led to the greatest basketball game I have seen with my own pair of eyes. Game 7, 2016 NBA Finals. Warriors, Cavs, LeBron versus Curry. No team had come back down 3-1 in the NBA Finals. Get that shit out of here. Kyrie, ISO on Curry. Clutchest shot in NBA history. And LeBron James fulfills his promise, brings the championship to Cleveland. Becomes the first player in NBA history to lead both teams in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks in finals history. Absolute dominance. Hands down the greatest NBA series I've ever seen in my lifetime. Cam Newton's Panthers were in the building. They started dabbing, going 15-1 in the regular season. One of the greatest seasons ever by a quarterback. Look at he did not give a damn at all. He hit it again. This is my favorite celebration. Scrub it. Superman was in the building until he got blitzed by Von Miller. All that dancing got quiet real fast. Peyton Manning goes out on top last year of his NFL career, wins a Super Bowl with the Broncos. Steph Curry loses yet again. But we also had the Summer Olympics. It was Usain Bolt's last run, his final time dusting the competition. Michael Phelps, the fish who I said retired earlier, he comes out of retirement to win some more golds yet again, and Simone Biles starts hopping around in this Olympics. But then we get to the Euros, where Ronaldo won his first international competition. He goes down early due to an injury, becomes the manager, and then super sub Eder comes in and becomes a national hero, immortalized in Portuguese history. And this is also the time where I first started getting into baseball, because the Chicago Cubs made history. They haven't won the World Series in 108 years. There were literal grandmas staying alive just to see the Cubs win this championship right here. One of the greatest moments in baseball. Peter, bro, this year is insane. Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges win the national championship. The Cubs winning the first championship in 108 years. LeBron taking down the 73-9 Warriors. Ronaldo winning his first European championship. None of this, however, were the moments of the year, because what Leicester City did in 2016 was the greatest sports story of all time. Remember Dini from earlier? Yeah, he scored on Leicester City, all right? They were still in the English Championship, and they eventually made it to the Premier League, all right? And at the beginning of this season, bookmakers had given Leicester City odds 5,000 to 1 for Leicester to win the league. That means if you bet $10 on Leicester winning the league before the year, you would have went home with $50,000. They were led by Jamie Vardy, their striker, Riyad Mahrez, their playmaker, and N'Golo Kante, their engine. I don't know how the hell they did this. Arsenal finished second yet again. 2016 was just a great year for sports, man. It was Cristiano Ronaldo's year. 4th Ballon d'Or, he won the Euros, and he wins the Champions League as well, beating out Haramball himself. Simeone loses once again to Ronaldo, this time in penalties. Oh my god, Haramball, man, he just can't win. Then we get to 2017, and Ronaldo wins his second one in a row. He was deadass unstoppable, but the match of the year in football was the El Clasico in 2017. Greatest rivalry in all of sports, Real Madrid versus Barcelona. And this was, in my opinion, the greatest El Clasico match of all time, alright? This game had a little bit of everything. First of all, Messi got murdered, just gets absolutely slaughtered by Marcelo here. Then later on in the game, just does not go for the ball there, Sergio Ramos. But despite having 10 men, Real Madrid tie the game, alright? The man himself, James! Which leads to the greatest moment in El Clasico history.
It's Messi! Oh, again! The menacing mind!
Easily, in my opinion, his most iconic celebration in his career. Takes over the Bernabeu and win Barcelona the match against Real Madrid. Absolute siege. But over in English football, my favorite team, Arsenal, have been struggling. They finished 5th in the table in 2017. Unacceptable. But this was also the year where Arsenal Fan TV started taking over the internet. And the #1 target for this channel was Arsene Wenger, the manager of Arsenal. Year after year, finishing top 4, but can't get the job done, and inspired some of the greatest videos on the internet.
The only thing I want is Wenger to fuck off.
It's time to go!
He needs to fuck off, blood. I'm done with this shit, bro. Last night I chatted to my mum, yeah? My mum's Wenger in. Is she mad?
We mustn't forget that it's been raining, so the pitch is quite...
It's been raining? Yeah. Are you being serious? It's raining for both teams. Yeah, I know. Come on, Ty.
But then we go back to boxing, because this was the biggest event of the year. One of the greatest boxers to ever grace planet Earth was going up against the notorious Conor McGregor, the MMA champion himself, who was knocking out championship fighters in 13 seconds, had the entirety of Ireland behind his back because of his personality, him representing the country, putting them on the map, putting money in Dana White's pockets.
No, put me back on now.
Look at Jose.
Are you listening? Jose, keep that belt listening. McGregor's coming for you. He'll do you in 2. Walking in McGregor, one on him.
Yeah! But they went on the greatest press run I've seen in the history of marketing.
1, 2, 3, f*** the Mayweathers. That's it. That's it. Turn the music on for the stripper. Do some slap hand. Do a little slap hand. Boom.
This is the greatest promo I've seen for a fight that we all knew the outcome would be. Mayweather won. He beats him by TKO in the 10th round. He goes 50-0 to close out his career. But this wasn't it for McGregor. This wasn't the biggest fight of his career. We'll get into that a little bit later. In Major League Baseball, the Astros beat the Dodgers in 7 to win the World Series. But later on, they get exposed for cheating, allegedly having cameras in the pitching mound, identify what pitch was coming, and then banging on trash cans to let the batter know the pitch was going to be a fastball or an off speed. All right, one of the biggest cheating scandals in sports. And speaking of cheating, Kevin Durant joined the Warriors. This pissed me off. This single-handedly ruined the NBA. A top 3 NBA player joining a 73-9 team. The best Christmas game of all time was played on this day, and also we had the KD and Russ beef where Russ tweeted a bunch of cupcakes on July 4th, which many people believe was a reference to KD joining the Warriors. They also had their beef going on, but the Warriors comfortably won the finals in 5. But then there was 28-3, which in my opinion solidified Tom Brady as the GOAT of football. He basically spotted the Falcons 28 points and walked them down. Alright, this guy comes back, wins the Super Bowl while Odell was chilling on a boat, and further solidified himself as the GOAT, distancing himself from his wife and kids. The last significant event of 2017 was when Alabama won the national championship with true freshman Tua Tagovailoa deep ball to Devontae Smith in overtime, walk-off touchdown. After Jalen Hurts was pooing his pants in the first half, Nick Saban had the balls to pull him for true freshman Tua Tagovailoa. They win the national championship over Georgia. Now we're in 2018, which means another World Cup. And Ronaldo just starts going nuts, solo squatting against Spain. Germany loses to South Korea. Messi loses again, bro. Oh my god. And Mbappe becomes the next world star, winning the World Cup. In the Premier League, Man City start their reign of terror. Remember the guy I was talking about earlier? This freak. He pulls up to England and starts the Saudi oil money trend by buying every single player that fits his tiki-taka tactics. And he builds this absolute god squad that wins the league. In the NBA, Kevin Durant is still in the Warriors, but this was James Harden's year. James Harden wins his first MVP, and the Houston Rockets were up 3-2 on this Golden State Warriors team. Chris Paul pulls his hamstring, and the Rockets miss 27 threes in a row in Game 7, and they lose yet again. This was, in my opinion, the greatest LeBron James of all time. I cannot believe what I was witnessing with my own 2 eyes, alright? This playoff run cemented him as the GOAT for me. One of the greatest individual basketball seasons I've ever seen. 2018 LeBron was unstoppable. Like, bro, look at his finals graphic. This is just hilarious. But in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, LeBron drops 51-8-8, has the Golden State Warriors on their heel, but then his own teammate forgot the score. Head coach doesn't call a timeout. Game goes to overtime. Cavs lose. They get swept by the super team yet again, alright? This was just a depressing time to watch basketball. Warriors, Cavs in the finals, and of course, Tom Brady is back in the Super Bowl. This time he's going up against Nick Foles and the Eagles, who's the backup quarterback. Tom Brady threw an absolute gem in this game. He kind of reminded me of 2018 LeBron. But there was nothing they could do to stop Philly, this stupid-ass play. It's so overrated. But the Eagles, they win the Super Bowl. We head back to the ice, and once again, the Maple Leafs lose in 7 to the Bruins. But Alexander Ovechkin finally wins his first Stanley Cup. He goes on an all-time offseason celebration run. But once again, the biggest events of 2018 were from combat sports. They say the greatest sporting event in the world is a heavyweight boxing championship fight, and the 2 contenders were both undefeated. Starting out with the bronze bomber, Deontay Wilder. 40-0, 39 knockouts. This guy has 1 punch in his arsenal, and it seemed like nobody could stop it until he came up against Tyson Fury. And this is one of the greatest boxing fights I've ever seen, because Fury was winning the entire fight until Wilder threw 1 punch. Knocks him out cold. 12th round, final round. Everyone thought watching live that Fury was done. But the bald egg gets up. No clue how he survived this. Oh my god. But despite Fury getting whopped, this fight ended up as a draw. But this leads us to what I believe is the biggest fight in human history. While McGregor was heating up his pockets in the boxing world, there was a new MMA champion emerging from the shadows of Dagestan. Khabib. But this wasn't a marketing scheme. There was genuine hatred between the two, alright? Here's Conor McGregor attacking Khabib's bus. A lot of nasty, nasty trash talk thrown by McGregor at Khabib. And ultimately, he made Conor tap. And you could tell in the aftermath of this fight, there was actual hatred because all hell broke loose in the cage, or I should say outside the cage. Conor McGregor was never the same after this fight, but this was the biggest event in MMA history. Last thing to mention in 2018 was Ronaldo completes his 3-peat after Liverpool's goalie Karius completely sells the game. I mean, this was just embarrassing. I'm surprised the scouts just haven't murked him yet, but this was Ronaldo's run. But now we finally made it to the last year of the video, 2019. It's the first year in this video since 2010 where LeBron doesn't make the finals. He leaves the Cavs, goes to the Lakers, and they don't win. Dame hit this ridiculous ridiculous shot
Just
on
a
Paul
bad
George.
shot.
None of that mattered because the Warriors still made the finals. This time coming up against the Raptors because Kawhi got sent to Canada, and this series was pretty crazy. Durant, who suffered a calf injury, came back in Game 5, terrorized all of Canada for about a quarter before he blew out his Achilles again. Raptors win. Drake starts going crazy. Canada gets its first championship. And in the NFL, Jared Goff scored 3 points. That's it. Antonio Brown froze his feet. John Gruden made this speech. And in the NHL, the Leafs lose in the playoffs to the Bruins in 7. This is one of the greatest Premier League title races we've seen in a while between Manchester City and Liverpool. Liverpool just missed out by 1 point to lose the Premier League title, but this clip was born.
Sadio Mane. I said it last time I was on it. He's the best football player in the world. I don't know why he's laughing for. Chris, why are you laughing for? Why are you laughing for? I'm being serious. I'm being serious. No, you see, I'm talking facts.
What Liverpool were able to do this year was make the Champions League final against Tottenham. Liverpool were coming off that horrendous Champions League final performance they put up a year ago. Somehow, someway, Tottenham's fluky ass made the Champions League final. My goat expressions was absolutely oozing. Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool won the Champions League, alright? 2-0 over Tottenham. The best sporting moment from 2019, in my opinion, comes from golf. After sleeping with damn near every woman during the 2000s, Tiger was caught depressed. He was drinking and driving, suffering from many injuries, but the GOAT comes back. He says he's got one more in him, and he miraculously wins the Masters in his classic Sunday red. What an absolute beast, man. This first Masters win since 2005. That was the lore on sports during the 2010s, the greatest sporting decade of all time. By the way, these three were going band for band the entire decade. I'm not gonna lie, I was too young. I was too busy watching those other sports to even understand what these three guys were doing. I low-key thought Andy Murray was the demon. And also Lewis started mogging everyone on and off the track. Got that into F1, but I gotta respect greatness, alright? Let me know if I missed any moments in the comments down below. Please hit that subscribe button, man. A lot of editing, a lot of recording, a lot of research was done for this video, so I'd appreciate it.